I was sitting in my Honda Civic outside of Chase Bank staring at my phone screen. 32 cents. That's it. That was my entire, net worth glowing back at me like a cosmic joke. And I just finished reading Think and Grow Rich for the third time. I had sticky notes all over my mirror, plastered that all these affirmations, but apparently my money magnet of affirmations was broken. And stay with me for a second here, because this is going to really sound crazy. I had the whole thing backwards. You see, that morning in my car, that was the moment that I finally understood something that would flip my entire reality upside down. Something so simple, so obvious, that I'd been missing it while I was trying to, get rich. But what you have to understand is money doesn't make you wealthy. Being wealthy makes you money. And I know what some of you are thinking. That sounds like a fortune cookie, this wisdom that you're trying to speak. But once you actually get this and really get it into your bones, let it seep into you, everything's going to change. So think about it like this. Imagine money like a hammer. And that hammer, when put into the right hands, like a carpenter, for example, they make beautiful furniture and use that. And when you put that hammer into somebody like me, definitely the furniture or whatever they're making, whatever I'm making, is not going to turn out as good as the master craftsman when they use those tools, like a hammer. The hammer didn't change, the hands holding it did. And money works exactly the same way. It's just a tool that amplifies who you are. If you hand $1 million to somebody with a broke consciousness, you're going to watch as they go broke. And this happens numerous times when people win the lottery, right? But here's the thing that gets really interesting. If you take everything away from somebody with wealth consciousness, and I mean everything, their connections, their money, everything, they rebuild it, they create, they manifest. And it's not because they're lucky or special, it's because they have, a wealth consciousness. That's just who they are. And your money right now, it's basically a thermometer. It's measuring your internal temperature. It's measuring your conscious level, your energetic point, if you will. And so you're not earning the money that you're earning because what the market is valuing at. There's part of that, but what it's really about is you're earning the money you're earning because you believe that you're worth that internally, subconsciously. That's what you believe to yourself is. And so the universe is just agreeing with you. Now, here's where it might get really uncomfortable is that, and nobody really talks about this, but if you remember that Bob Doyle quote about all those Think and Grow Rich readers who are still broke, he really nailed it, right? They're standing in front of their mirrors, much like I did, reading I'm wealthy and all these affirmations while their entire body language is screaming a liar. And you know what that creates? It creates resistance. It creates friction. It's a cosmic traffic jam. And so, and I get it, right? It's like trying to convince yourself you're tall when you're standing on your knees. And the evidence is just right there. It's mocking you. Your bank account is laughing at your affirmations. Your credit card statement is saying bullshit on your vision board, right? But look, and this is what's really gonna cook your noodle. You're not lying when you say you're wealthy. You're just looking at old evidence. That empty bank account, that is last month's consciousness, last year's beliefs, yesterday's energy. That's showing up in today's reality. And so if you think about it, it's like getting mad at a rear view mirror of showing up where you were instead of where you're going. And so your current physical reality is just your past consciousness on display. It's think of it like a museum of who you used to be. And so here's the thing that nobody really truly gets. Most people are trying to get wealthy. You have to stop that. Seriously, just stop. You are already wealthy. You just built walls around it so thick and reinforced the belief systems of those walls to filter out anything that is about being wealthy. And so the shift isn't about becoming something new. It's about remembering what you've always been. Before you actually was taught that money was hard, or before you learned that rich people were evil, before you absorbed really the story that had you to struggle and to sacrifice and suffer in order to deserve the thing. And so if you think about how kids act for a second, they don't have money anxiety or money or just any kind of anxiety about abundance. They just assume they'll be taken care of, right? They expect good things, they believe in magic and possibilities, and they think creatively. And so they really think like, why not me? And then when we grow up and we learn to be realistic, we learn to expect less, dream smaller, settle, be happy about it, settle for crumbs while convincing ourselves we're grateful for this meal and we're grateful for things. But wealth is your factory setting, right? Poverty is a learned behavior. And you really have to let that sink in. And let me show you how you actually do this, because you're probably thinking, okay, cool, all this is like philosophy and, it's great, I love it, it's motivational, but how do I actually become wealthy, right? And it's probably like, while reality might be screaming that you're not wealthy at all, start very small, like stupid small. Tomorrow morning when you wake up to go and like buy your coffee, think like a wealthy person. I'm not saying like buy yourself the nicest cup of coffee ever. Like feel the difference in the morning experience when you just are. Like feel that difference. One is scarcity, one is a choice. Stop saying like I can't afford this and all this stuff and being nervous about it. I'm sure you've experienced times in your life where you show up and you've truly been good. Like you don't really check your bank balance before you spend the coffee or whatever. So stop saying like I'm choosing to invest my resources elsewhere right now when you invest in a coffee, or don't. And before like you roll your eyes and think, isn't this just like word games? It's none of that. Like what this is really identity reprogramming. When you're making a decision, ask yourself, like what would wealthy me do? And not like fancy rich with unlimited resources, like I said, not like buying the $100 coffee, but the version of you who knows that abundance is always there, who trusts that money flows to you, who operates from expansion instead of contraction. The version of you who already exists, like they are inside of you. You're just pretending that they don't. And here's the thing, something that will really, really challenge most people. Like there are plenty of people on this planet, millionaires, who are far poorer than you, billionaires that are poorer than you. And when you really think about it, like they might have the numbers in their bank accounts, but they're walking around with scarcity consciousness, terrified of losing it all and trying to get the next dollar. They're anxious about everything that they make, unable to enjoy what they actually have because they're so afraid of of it disappearing. That's not wealth. That's just fear with a bigger bank account. Real wealth, the kind that nobody can actually take away from you, that lives in your cells, it's all a state of being that says, I am enough. There is enough. There will always be enough. It's space without having to check your bank account. Joy without any conditions. Like gratitude for what, while being excited about and what's actually coming. And you can have this at any time, at any income level. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. You must have this before income actually shows up and really that's the entire part, right? Like that's the part that most people's brains don't understand. Money flows to consciousness, not from it. The universe doesn't speak English. And by the way, it doesn't speak any language. It doesn't hear your words or read your vision board. It responds to your energy, your vibration, the frequency that you're actually broadcasting. And it does that 24/7. It responds to that. And it does it whether you realize it or not. And so your beliefs, they're basically bouncers outside of the club, deciding what gets into your reality and what gets turned away at the door. And money is, it's hard to get, creates difficulty getting money. I need money to be happy equals blocked happiness without money. Rich people are evil equals you installing a self-destruct button that in order to get success, you have to be evil or money. And so you're not poor because the economy sucks or your industry doesn't pay well or any of that. It's because you're experiencing a lack of your own subconscious, your belief system. It's architected for lack. That's all that it is. And so the good news is you are the architect, right? You can design this at any time. You can change it. You can shift it. And, actually, wait. Here's the final really like mind bender. And you're not trying to get anything. Say that again. You aren't trying to get anything. You're not trying to get anything. You already have it. Every resource, every opportunity, every abundance, it's already yours. You've just been really good at not seeing it. at not being able to build the elaborate path to it, right? You've been building an elaborate path with blindfolds and all these things that keep you from it, right? Wondering why you're in the dark. Wealth consciousness isn't about adding something new. It's about removing what's been blocking about what's already been there. Like, how Michelangelo, he didn't just create David. He removed everything that wasn't there, like the statue that he carved. That masterpiece was always in the marble. He just had to see it and chip it away. And your wealth consciousness is already in your marble of life. You just have to stop adding more rock. So stop trying so hard. Stop affirming so desperately and stop chasing what's already inside of you, waiting to be exposed. And here's really the truth that'll set you free. Wealth whispers. Broke screams. The louder you are trying, like the further you're getting away when you try that way. The more that you chase, the more that it's going to run. The harder you grip, the more that it slips through your fingers. But when you finally relax into knowing, not hoping, not wishing, not like trying, not forcing, actually knowing that you are wealth, that's when the money shows up. Oh, that's when it happens, right? And there you are. There's the person you've been looking for, always been there. And look, I get this. Like, I know that this feels like a lot. It might feel uncomfortable. It took me many years to really embody this for myself. Years of unlearning all those broke programming that I absorbed unconsciously. And years of catching myself in scarcity spirals and consciously choosing, the abundance over the scarcity instead. But that morning in my Honda Civic with 32 cents to my name, like, that was the morning that I decided to stop to get wealthy and started being it instead. I just was. And guess what? The money showed up later. It always does when you get the right order of things in the correct order. So let me ask you something. What would you change if you stopped trying to become what you already are? What would shift in your life when you realize that the only thing between you and your wealth is your belief that you are actually separate? What would your life truly be different today? Like right now, if you knew down in your bones that abundance wasn't coming someday, that it was already here today, right now, in the present, waiting for you. And what's waiting for you, if you stop looking for it, is everything. If you just start being it. Your bank account is lying to you, I promise. It's showing you yesterday's news, last week, last month, last year. Tomorrow's balance is being written today in the present. It's in today's consciousness as right now. So what you really have to understand is who you are going to show up as today. Like, who are you going to be today? And that person trying to get wealthy, or the wealthy person that has no money, who hasn't caught up yet, who's forcing it, it's never going to flow to you. You have to act as if it is already here, because that's the moment that you realize you already have all of it within you. So choose wisely. Your future self is counting on it.